Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode with Kartmaster on a GTA 5, driving around the city when a peculiar phantom car spawns in. The headlights appear, however, nothing else on the vehicle does. It's certainly a solid entity, and if you go to try and drive it, well, then things go very badly for you. Yes, you are in a world with just one tunnel, and that's about it. The real Neil up next on GT5, playing around with the flying bike, as you do. A little bit of bopping going on the rooftop here, and physics wins. You're not normally able to do that with the bike if it ends up upside. You normally just fall straight off. It's quite an impressive parking job, I have to say. It's quite well done for managing to roll a flying bike and get it stuck upside down. That is quite impressive. Matthias on Horizon 4 was trying to knock over one of the Lego bikes. There's challenges for knocking over so many of them. Unfortunately for them, fortunately for us, the attempt has led to a Ferrari very stuck. Yeah, there's no amount of shuffling about that is going to get that car out of there. Let's go up next on Horizon 4 in exactly the same spot, actually. But it's watch the AI cars here, because Mini decides to do a random donut before vanishing off again. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure on that one at all. Top Gear is best up next to us at a Corsa at the start of a single-player race, with the AI forgetting where they're going. Much like the Mini, only this time in more dramatic fashion, as 4 out of the 5 AI cars have gone the wrong way. In fact, one of the Maseratis has gone really, really the wrong way. The Mazda's fine. I'm not sure about that. Very, very unsure about that. Too lazy to win on NASCAR Heat 3, gets a wobble coming out of a corner, quickly followed by 2 front flips and a clonk on the ground. I mean, roll's not exactly unheard of with these sort of cars. Front flips like that, quite unusual. A troubling statue also having issues with walls, this time on grid 2, runs a little bit too wide, clips the outside of the mountain, goes for a double roll, a little bit of a Tony Hawk's-esque grind, maybe a Tony Hawk-esque combo with that landing on the wall, and just about gets away with all of that. Johnny up next on Need for Speed Carbon is also going to be incredibly lucky. Too much speed into this first corner, ends up with the car off the mountain. Normally that's it. However, the Nissan had other ideas. Somehow a mad aerial pirouette, ended up with that car back on the road. A plural of Tiger is up next with the whole team in different vehicles. They're making their way towards the next area. The buggy, well, has an issue with a motorbike. Yeah, collision physics aren't the best between these. Buggy versus bike. Buggy loses. Buggy hit a tree, and then player really loses out in all of that one. Yes, how to kill your teammates without intending to whatsoever. Michael caught up next on Farming Sim. He's trying to find out what happens if you wedge a truck around some tree, a truck with a lot of trailers around some trees, and then crash into it with a train. The experiment being, can you force the trailers apart, while they're still technically connected by the game? What happens if you try to force those apart? So, train comes along to try and ram the truck to the point where something has to give, and the answer is you go to space. Who needs a rocket? We don't need a rocket at all anymore. What you need is a train and a truck, a very strong tree. I mean, the descent part might not be so good. It's also not quite a speed record, but at 4,000 miles, or 4,500 kilometers an hour, that's still an awful lot of speed. Yeah, it's not the healthiest, safest of re-entries in all of this, but they did manage to separate trailers from the truck in one way or another. Blaze the Fox up next on Iracing with the notoriously oversteery Skip Barber cars, and well, this would be a first lap of many things going wrong directly in front of the car that we are riding on board with, all in fairly similar manners. So far that's 2 that have had massive spins, and I mean, player just about managing to avoid these. As I said, it is easy to do with this car from my little experience of driving. I personally don't particularly like driving these cars. Is up ahead, one's gone round, there's another one gone around. That's 4 cars now, having pointed sideways. Maybe not quite full 360s, but that's 4 cars in the space of a lap. That we've had to try and deal with, and as another vehicle, I think this might have been the one that spun at the start, is recovering, tries to get up the inside, and we are going to, yep, there goes the rear on that one. Black car we just see the nose of, having to frantically bail out of that as well. And finally, more spinning, this time from Welsh Toast on our Factor, who has figured out if you happen to park a car on the inside of the first corner, the AI with these V8 supercars doesn't know what to do. Or the old first corner, I guess we should say. The AI doesn't have a clue. It knows it needs to avoid the player car, but to do that, it has to throw them on the grass. It then panics and tries to save it, and, well, that doesn't end good for anybody, does it? Really? Nope. Everything is in perfect synchronicity through here, as another one's gone quite fast actually for that particular one. There's a few cars going in sort of the dribs and drabs that are a little bit safer, and then you've got this group of cars all in a big line. Definitely not worked. Some of them got away with it, and I'm not quite sure how. I don't know how a couple of those made it through without doing this weird. Maybe they had a car on their outside, so the AI was being forced to take a different line. Still sliding in. Bits of bodywork flying everywhere. It's definitely not worth. This is just from one of the replay cameras. It's carnage. It's complete utter carnage, and no one can figure out how to use the slightly different bit of road. It might be one of the more impressive AI confusions we've seen. Yes, admittedly, player induced this one, but normally not. It doesn't normally induce this much confusion. No, but there are a couple of cars. There is one that is stuck on the inside, but one AI vehicle figured out how to take that corner while everybody else was stuck in the gravel trap, as bits of bodywork caused, well, all sorts of physics-defying spins and flips. Yeah, it was a big old mess. Silverstone proved to be a big old mess with the with the V8 supercars. That, though, is going to be it for this video. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description. At the very top of the page is the FailRace clips mission section, and in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. However, that is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.